If I had kids, if I had a daughter especially, I would tell her to find a way to hire a housekeeper as soon as possible, to put that into the household budget immediately. And the reason that I would do that, especially with a daughter, is that I think that so many of our young women are trained to be housekeepers. And while it's not a bad thing, it's a good thing. I can do dishes and clean toilets and make beds with the best of them. I can do all those things. But when I think about bringing my work into the world and all the time that I've spent, even when I get it really dialed in to doing my housework very efficiently, it frustrates the shit out of me. And so, why would I do that to myself? Now, some people like to be very much in control of their household and they don't want to have somebody coming in and doing that, or they feel guilty about it. I think that housework is such a good example because it will bring up so many um, issues that we don't even know are just below the surface. We don't know that it's there because nobody's ever asked us or told us. Well, some people have. Some people grew up with a housekeeper and that just became modus operandi. Of course you would hire a housekeeper. Of course you would put it into a budget. Because why are you doing housework when you've got other more interesting things to do? And then we have all sorts of stories around it. So I bring it up. I bring this up, the housekeeping work and the way that young women have long been entrained to do that work for a very distinct reason because it often has some energy for us about worthiness and entitlement and all sorts of other words we might use against ourselves. So I'm curious what the housework conversation brings up in you. Beyond that, in your business, if you were hiring or training your replacement and hiring your successor, what would you tell them? God, if I would have known to do this right in the beginning, I would have just gotten it off the plate immediately because I found out for myself about myself that I'm not the best person for it. And then there are better people trained better at these tasks, do it more effectively, more efficiently. It would have taken a huge amount of stress off of my life. And I could have focused on building the business or my job if I would have been empowered, if I would have empowered myself, given myself permission to find the resource to have to train my replacement in these areas for these tasks. So I want you to be thinking about it from that business perspective. And don't do that thing where you're like, but the money, blah, blah, blah. These are thought experiments. Okay. They're just like to get you thinking outside of the box. Nothing has to happen with any of this information. It's only to get you to think beyond what our limiting beliefs are about how our life can be or should be. So now we've tackled the topic of what is a thought experiment. It's simply to get you to think outside of the box. And I'll share with you a thought experiment from my friend Paul in just a second. Yeah, so thinking about what you would get off your plate in business, what you would get off your plate in your home. Because a lot of times women, I don't know about men, maybe a man is like, I've been changing my own oil for all these years because my dad told me every man has to learn how to change the oil in the car. You just have to know how to do it. And it wasn't enjoyable for you ever. You never wanted to do it ever. You didn't like that dirty work ever. But in the back of your head, you had like your dad being like, if you don't do it the way I tell you, you're a bad person. Like that's how we perceive that conversation in our head. So I want you to think about that. What are those conversations about the information that you think you have to do that you don't have to do? Somebody else easily can change the oil and more efficiently and better, and you can read the news, have a break from your day instead of crawling under a car that you don't want to be under and getting dirty. Like, this is where these we have to know within ourselves what is making us crazy, and we're letting us make us crazy, letting make us crazy, and we can easily get them off the plate. So today, I just want you to identify those things that you would tell your younger self to get off the plate early on, and give yourself permission to do it now. Find a way. That's part of what my job is for myself. It's like how I'm giving me my life back, getting my life back. If I want the best life yet, then this is the quest to figure out how to do that easily, efficiently. And for those of you, I'm going to talk about this in a couple of days, in a couple of videos from now about business. This is especially true because after we're done with our 30 days, we're going to do another business quest for those of you who want to do an online business thing. So thinking about these tasks that somebody else could do, start making notes on it. Just make notes. You don't have to do anything more than that. Just make some notes. And then what I'm doing for this whole process is figuring out how to do it as efficiently and effectively as possible so that I can share with you how I've been delegating the various tasks that I've found that I don't want to do. Like, to be able to make this video like this, send it off for transcription, have a video editor edit them and make them better. Um, get that transcription. I can have a copywriter take the transcript and turn it into a blog post, cut them down to pull quotes or little snippets of information that were particularly valuable. Make a graphic for it. I don't need to make the graphics. I don't need to make the graphics. In fact, I don't need to do any of that stuff. Some of it I like to do, most of it I don't like to do. I'm going to find a way to delegate all of it done. So I'm going to share it out loud so that you can see that it is possible for you. And yeah, delegation, man, we're going to get our lives back. Woo! And not only that, but we're going to create jobs. Because let me tell you about an entrepreneur, and anybody can be an entrepreneur. Anybody can be an entrepreneur because one, you're solving problems or you're creating worlds, new opportunities for people. You're creating new opportunities for people, nourishing the good. I could say thwarting loneliness or nourishing the good. I'm solving the problem of loneliness, or I'm creating a new paradigm of nourishing the good. We are thwarting loneliness or creating a new paradigm of nourishing the good. How we do that? We go on this quest, this wisdom quest. Where we're going to gather our wisdom in the wisdom gathering quest. That's what we're doing here. And part of that is going to inspire us to step out into the world in new ways. Really, this is what this is about. Us stepping into our power, stepping into our lives in new ways that who knows what that's going to lead to. But I will only believe that it will be for the better. Because I believe that my life is on purpose and your life is for purpose too. We have to find our purpose and live into it as boldly and bravely as we can. And we encourage each other to live into it boldly and bravely by doing our healing work together. So that's why we're here once again. All right. Send in love from Montana. We'll catch up soon.